Good morning, Vince.
Hi, Pam.
I'm here because I don't know where else to be, but I'm probably going to stay hidden.
No worries. Yeah. You don't need a reason to come to these things.
Yeah.
You don't.
Hi guys.
So how's it been going for you, Dom?
Yeah, good. Um, Trying to think when I last came on. The meeting was Wednesday, maybe. Um, Not that much to report. Um, Having crazy dreams. Really had an epic dream last night, which I won't bore anybody with the details. But and I slept like normally I'm up about 6:30, and I woke up at 20 to 10.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's like 3 hours longer than normal. Um, Yeah, I suppose the main thing at the moment is this. I've got a few like bodily ailments that are sort of triggering stories. Um, so I'm just trying to watch that process.
Mm. So when you see that there's stories that have turned up, how do you react to that?
I'm not sure exactly. It's sort of I'm sort of noticing it. Um, there isn't a strong reaction. Yeah, I don't think.
Okay, yeah. So if you
Um,
said trying to stop it, or send it away, resist it, or accept it, welcome it, invite it in, do any of
yeah, I
those make
suppose
any sense?
yes. I'm definitely not trying to shove them away. Um, it's a bit more like, oh yeah, that's happening. You know.
Mm. Yeah, good.
Um, it's I I suppose I'm not actively sort of welcoming them, which yeah, I think it's been mentioned before, and I could possibly do that or try that.
Well, the first, before, even before you do that, to somehow um, acknowledge your relationship to them as well. Like, so
Mm,
when you say, "Oh, that's happening," there's kind of an
mm,
objective relationship to them. But if you say, "Oh, this is happening to me," or "I'm experiencing it," or whatever, you
oh
know,
yeah,
it has a different kind of a flavor, doesn't it?
it doesn't seem to be as strong the sort of secondary story of like, oh, I'm someone who has these stories that are always getting me down.
Mm.
Um,
Good stuff. Yeah. Okay.
but it's not gone completely though. It's still sort of,
Well, it's fine.
it's
Yeah.
yeah. It's sort of there's a sort of feeling that there's a sort of slump that could happen that doesn't quite happen. Um,
Yeah. Well, that sounds good. And you get better and better at this stuff, you know. So in the end, you go, oh, yeah, there's another interesting cloud shape. No, no, it's a story, right? Yeah. But you get what I mean
yeah, yeah.
without the melodramatics. Yeah. And sometimes they can be really loudly shouting out, "Oh, I've got this message for you," you know, and at other times they're just like a dream. You're just, wow, where did that come from? What's that about? Yeah.
It was interesting how much that the dream that I had last night or this morning or whatever was very. It was typical of dreams I used to have a lot, which were around themed around being in a situation with a lot of people, being in unfamiliar surroundings, and something being wrong, and me having not knowing how to kind of go and solve it. Um, it was a little bit more intense than that last night, but it sort of had that same sort of flavor.
Mm. And were you always able to go and solve it, or were you never able to solve it, or
No, never solved. It never gets solved.
mm,
It's sort of
that's the kind of dream that leaves you unsatisfied?
yes, yeah. It's not like yeah. There's no sort of resolution to it. Um, but things feel quite calm.
Good one.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. So the experiment continues.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Sort of bumbling along.
Aren't we all? Yeah. Mm. Max, would I be getting it right if I said that you're okay with whatever turns up? Would that be accurate?
Uh, not not necessarily immediately. Quite often I have no reaction to what turns up, but I try to be okay with that no, if I cannot be okay with the thing itself.
Right. So when you say you try to be okay with that,
Yeah.
what kind of effort do you put into it?
It's it's the way I say it, but it's not really what I feel is happening. It's more, I would say, I feel no until I until until it's a yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I get that.
I don't I would not say I try because
Yeah, all right. That's good. I like that.
it's more like I exhaust the no, or the no exhaust itself until it's yes.
Yeah. Would you say it's more just a remembering that even the no is okay?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Remembering. I can see that I'm doing that. There is something happening with my mind. Um, I take an example with you last time when I was in a meeting. You said that I seem to have a good hand on what's happening, or something, something like that. And I would say that at first I received that as a good thing. I I take it as what I hear.
Yeah.
Oh, humans, oh, good, and good meditator, good whatever. Good point. And
And then,
and then I twist it in the other way. Like how is it a bad thing? Like yeah, like what if it was ironical, or what if yeah, in all of the ways that and it seems that I am convinced that this uh, I would say multiple approach of things I receive, either bad or good, so called, is a way for me to not miss any blind spot, to kind of reveal the negative as a picture meaning, the negative of the first perception I get of things. Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah.
And I don't know if it's a complete waste of time, which I suspect, or if it's kind of a way to inquire deeper into my internal mechanisms. And I see that by asking all of this, I'm asking for confirmation or
Yeah, yeah, I get it. Yeah.
please tell me the way to go. I often encounter this problem with speaking groups or teachers that I always want to get the manual.
It's a good one.
Confirmation. Right now, I have questions coming like, am I just expressing doubt? But I feel it's again the same thing. So I stay silent. Most of my life is just silence. I stay with it and I just don't talk about my experience. Any question that moves, it seems to be this seeking of validation and confirmation. So it dies.
Mhm. Can you imagine getting to a point where it doesn't worry you at all? Doesn't, but you don't even have to think about it.
Yeah, to some degree, it has happened many times about some things or like I can see that the things I worry about are not always the same. And it's not always there either. It's just that I see people around me behaving in ways that I feel more and more
More and more what?
disconnected with, or what I see with. And in another way, I also understand more things it seems of what they do. And yes, it's, I can feel a very subtle, real compassion for the first time in my life. Not a show of compassion. Not a.
Mm,
It's like it's something like it's an understanding that I don't even question. And, yeah, that I can get out. It's not like I want to be seen as compassionate or anything like that.
mm, yeah, yeah,
In
it's
many ways,
authentic, genuine. Yeah.
in many ways at the moment, I'm apparently very selfish. Um, like there is Yeah, I don't have much contact with people in general. Um, but yeah, there is like a silent love.
Hmm. Would you recognize if some of that compassion were for yourself? Would you recognize that if it happened?
Mm. Yes. Mm. I don't think I looked at it in that way, even though I am thinking about being compassionate for me uh, often. Next. There is a lot of pain in the body, in my body, a lot of tensions. I'm really focused on that.
So how have you been, David?
Hi, Vince. Nice to see you. Yeah, I'd like to ask you about about loneliness, about this feeling, because with all these experiences in this last month, all these recognitions and stuff, all this meeting people and talking about this, it feels more and more like there is a disconnection from the old way of seeing this. And it's like when I interact with people in everyday's life, with people close to me, like with friends or my girlfriend, and that disconnection, at least in the story, in this world that thoughts create, it grows larger. It's more, I feel more close. It feels more close from the point of view of this because like other people's pain and other people's fears, other people's they are seen more clearly and they are it's easier to love people because of that. But there is a disconnection on the intellectual side. And this relied a lot on the intellectual side for so many years that there is something that is being labeled as loneliness or as separatedness, but it's on the thought side, and but sometimes it triggers the body because there is still this conditioning in the
Mm,
body. So there are feelings, there are sensations in the body and contraction that appears, and there is a story that gets told about being alone and loneliness, and nobody understands this. And I can share this freely because they will reject me. And so there is like this feeling of loneliness that gets labeled as loneliness. I can see that they are just separatedness, they are just sensations in the body with a story attached to it.
mm,
But there is, I don't know how to approach this because, yeah, obviously one way it's just feeling these sensations, but sometimes it's very, yeah, loneliness, it's the word that appears. I know that it's just a thought, a concept, but there is another story also that says that we all share this human experience. We are all part of the same human experience. It's just different aspects of it, different, I don't know, localizations of it.
mm,
But so there shouldn't be this sensation of loneliness. There shouldn't be. It shouldn't be there. Yeah.
mm, mm, mm.
I don't know if I
Yeah, I get,
I explain it.
I get something. Yeah. So can you imagine a description of this, that this experience that you call loneliness is a version of love, and it is commiseration, a grief about feeling separate.
Mm. Yeah.
But do you get that from the moment you were expelled out of your mother's body, you've been
Mm.
alone? You've always been alone in a physical way since the day you were born, since the moment you were born. Any feeling of connection starts in you and finishes in you, or is experienced in you. So you seem to be expressing is a recognition that you don't have to be separate, that there is in fact
Mm.
connection possible at a level, and that it's missing that you're expressing with this feeling called loneliness. Maybe.
Yeah, loneliness exists only because there is also this idea that we can also be together and there is an alternative. So it only exists because there is also an alternative. So there is loneliness, there is this feeling of separatedness as a resistance, as a reaction, as a resistance, because it's not it's not united. This is not. This would be. This would want to be one and feel separated. It feels separated on. I think maybe it's also about it's more about the feeling of rejection maybe, and
Yeah.
not being enough. Yeah, it's also about because loneliness. Yeah, it's loneliness when you feel rejected and when you feel not
Yeah.
enough because
Yep.
you feel rejected and lonely. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're connected.
And rejection happens. Why?
Yeah, because the ideas there's these ideas that are not validated. Yeah, yeah, it's still in the story. It's still in the there's this
Yeah.
individual and he has some ideas about all of this and these ideas, but it's not that they are not validated maybe, but they are not, yeah, because what I would like to happen is that when I try and talk about this to other people, that this would be somehow seen and shared. And so it's just sadness that this can be easily shared and easily seen. Or, I mean, it can, but it doesn't happen. It only rarely happens
Mm.
that there is a glimpse and
Yeah.
someone maybe sees something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
this always relied upon words and concepts to communicate. And
Yeah.
so the fact that it can't easily communicate this experience, this, it feels, yeah, it also has to do with feeling, yeah, inadequate, not good enough to communicate this immediately. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's always the same
Mm.
stuff.
Yeah. Of course. Of course. It goes round
It's
and
always
around.
the same stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Do you get that if you did feel heard, if you did feel seen, that would be the opposite of feeling lonely. That would be you having a connection.
Yeah. Yeah, being seen, also being seen. Yeah, being seen because, but the connection, I can see that it's already there because I can see that because we share everything. I mean, we are just
Hmm.
part of the same reality, and also the part, the separation, the boundaries. These are not so rigid and so
No, they're lines on
solid
a
as
map,
we
don't
see.
they? They're just lines on a map. They're
Yeah,
totally
yeah, yeah,
artificial.
yeah,
Nothing
yeah.
real about them at all. Yeah.
I can see that. It's about. Yeah, it's a reaction that triggers this fundamental fear of not being enough, not being good enough to
Oh
communicate,
well,
not being enough to make
yeah.
someone see this, not good enough to.
So do you get that version of love is not love. That version of love is approval.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's not for the others. It's just for not to feel this. Yeah, yeah,
It's conditional. Yes. Very
yeah, yeah. It's
conditional.
conditional.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's conditional. Oh my God. It's very, yeah, it's funny how this keeps coming up in different forms and
Yeah.
in different shapes and different forms, but it's always
Mm.
the same stuff.
And each time it comes up, well, not each time, just not even when it just breaks the surface, but all the time. It's it's trying to tell you something.
Yeah.
What do you imagine? What have a fantasy? What is the message that it's trying to tell you?
Yeah, there is a story, there is a fantasy, and so there is something else that it's better than this, and so this needs to be fixed. This needs to
No.
be changed. This needs to become something else. Yeah, the story that's being told is this one. It's always this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's yeah, it's just not to stay here with these sensations.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. To run
But
away from that.
you can see I look, tell me if I'm right or wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. But you can see exactly what it's all about. You can see exactly what needs to happen.
Yeah, yeah, I know. But yeah. There is still it's like there is an habit, a conditioning, a habit of running away from
Yeah.
it. It's a habit, and it's so strong, this habit.
Yeah.
It keeps, yeah, it's strong, this
Yeah.
habit. There's, yeah, fear associated with it, fear of just staying here.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's here, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
but what is here is a an interpretation of something. It's not what we
Mm.
think it is.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, it's not the interpretation. The interpretation is already in another place. It's here, wordless and out of time,
Mm.
and every description doesn't gets it,
Yeah.
doesn't catches it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah, the mind now goes, yeah, but you need to have other people's approval, or you will end up being alone, and you will die alone, and you will grow old, become old, an old, alone lonely person. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All this
Yeah, yeah.
scary
All
story.
this,
Yeah,
yeah.
all this there's this
It,
scary
it's
story.
Yeah, you could make a movie about that stuff, couldn't you? And everybody would
Yeah,
relate to it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Many movies have already been done about this
yeah,
story.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I asked Max earlier, and for me, it's probably one of the most revealing responses I could get about this stuff, whatever it is.
Mm,
I don't want to call it a path. I don't want to call it spiritual. I don't want to call it any of that stuff. It's because it's nothing, none or all of it. It's whatever. Anyway, but the
mm,
question, the question I asked him, it was, is it true that you're okay with whatever turns up? So now you notice that I'm not saying that you're happy about that.
mm, mm, mm.
I'm not saying I'm saying you're okay, and kind of that's a shitty way to put it too. But I can't think of a much better way. Right now, you're obviously got stuff you're okay with and stuff you're not okay with.
Mm.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
you
there is no
and you know what
choice.
I'm going to say, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So tell me about the stuff you're not okay with, without telling me about the content of the story.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, this is a good one. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the
So,
resistance is all in the story. Yeah.
yeah. Can you have a fantasy? And the question is, can you have a fantasy that even the stuff that you would prefer not be there is okay for it to be there? Not only just okay in a reluctant way, but okay in that there's good stuff in it, that it is there, not a bit, not what it's about, but that it exists. Can you have a fantasy that even shitty stuff has a strong component of goodness about it? It's good that it exists. It's good that it is visiting, that it is here.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, it's part of this. It's part of the whole. It's part of. It's part of this, and it's essential in a way. It's essential because otherwise it wouldn't be.
Yes, it wouldn't exist. Exactly.
It
Yeah.
wouldn't exist. It wouldn't be.
Mhm.
It wouldn't be like this. It wouldn't be this. It wouldn't be.
Yeah. So one of the characteristics of the stuff we would prefer not arrive is that it's practice for you to be okay with the shitty stuff.
Yeah, everything is a portal. Everything that makes this suffering, these sensations appear. It's a
Yeah,
mirror. It's a portal. It's an opportunity. I mean, opportunity. It's something that shows you something. It
yeah,
shows you something. Yeah.
yeah. Now, for you to find that, do you recognize that at the level where your discovery will be, it's below the level of words and narration and description and definition? It's beyond that.
Yeah. 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 It's already
That's
separated the moment. story about this appears.
It can only be experienced. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it can only be experienced. It cannot be understood. The moment you try and understand it and put a label
Mm.
on it, you're already running away from it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm, 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 mm.
So the fantasy of it being possible is like an invitation. That
Def-
fantasy
yeah.
that you make up in your mind, that movie that you have about I can be okay with hitting my thumb with a hammer. While it hurts, I can be okay with it.
Yeah, in the sense that being okay with it, there is no, there is no, there is no being okay with it. There is just this and nothing
Yeah.
else. I mean, yeah. There is not someone who is okay with it. There is not something to be okay with. There is just this
Yep.
happening. Yeah. Otherwise, it would be just another thing that needs to be done in order to improve this. Oh, everywhere you look, there is something that triggers these sensations. And when you feel like, oh yeah, I have learned how to stay with them, there's always something that triggers more of that. There's always a place you haven't looked.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's
Yeah,
always a corner.
it's saying stay humble.
There's always a corner. Yeah, yeah, because the mind goes, yeah, I've
Yeah,
conquered this.
yeah.
I've done it. Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
So when we circle back to loneliness, you can imagine that the fix to loneliness is to have connection. But it's not the case.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's not
Yeah. Yeah.
there is no connection between those two things, yeah? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It would never be enough. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It would never be
yeah,
enough.
that's right, exactly. Then the fix to loneliness is for it to be a non-issue, for it
Mm,
to not be an issue at all. It's not to feel the opposite.
mm,
It's to make it irrelevant. How can I explain to anybody the feeling I have towards you right at this moment?
yeah, they can't be
It
communicated.
can't even close, not even
Yeah.
close. Yeah.
So many misunderstandings. Yeah, so many. It's always so hard to communicate even the simplest things. Yeah. Mm. Yeah.
So much of this stuff, it doesn't need to be communicated. we just know it. There is just experiencing.
The me wants to communicate them because it thinks that this will improve the situation. This will make it better in the store. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Poor me, that poor me.
Yeah.
This is awesome stuff. Thank you, as always.
Thank you for what it triggers here.
If I ever come to Australia, I want to come and hug you someday.
Yeah.
Thank you. The mind is screaming, you'll end up alone. What are you doing? You're brainwashing yourself.
I find a good technique for any of this stuff is to just go deeper, always deeper, deeper, deeper. Look in more detail, look at detail. So when the mind is screaming out, you'll end up alone, analyze that. Look at the detail. What does end up mean? What is alone? What are the consequences of being alone? Try and like mentally list them out. So you could say you'll end up alone and oh, that is terrible. That's really bad. As long as we don't look at any details, it's huge. It's the consequences of that are you won't survive. Uh, or you look at the details and you start going, well, what would be the consequences? The consequences would be that I would have no one to talk to at home. The consequences, well, and then you can start looking at the details. You think, well, if I wasn't alone and I had someone to talk to, what would I be talking about? Every time you start looking at the details, something changes. It's when you zoomed right out and it's just a blob on the horizon that it has really big implications. But if you think ending up alone, what is that? Is it different to being alone right now?
I think it's also about the physical safety of this body, because there is this belief that this body will get old and
Right.
frail, and
Okay. So
at one point it will be sick and it
your
won't be
fantasy
able
is
to
that
take
you'll
care of
need someone to
itself.
help you.
Yeah.
So that's a great thing to do to somebody you love, isn't it? Burden them with a sick body at the end.
Yeah, there's also a sense of guilt related to that. Yeah, there's also guilt related to making other people's lives miserable somehow by burdening them, and not being enough to take care of myself, this body. There's all these fears underneath these stories. Yeah, lots of these fears, these stories, they seem to trigger the body. They seem to activate it, and the body contracts. Yeah, it's a very, yeah, it's a scary story. The mind seems to have a point. It seems very convincing. There is another idea that says, oh yeah, this story is very convincing. There's another thought that seems to confirm. Yeah. And the mind, in the story, there is this wants to have some answers for this problem, some solution, maybe from you right now, and it says, yeah, tell me what to do. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it wants to
Oh,
solve.
so how much time have we got? When are we talking about? When you're old and decrepit, or next week? When are we talking about?
No, no, it's in the far future.
Far
It's
future. Right.
yeah.
Okay. So we've got to sort this one out. Yeah. Well, I mean, if we don't sort it out, anything could happen, couldn't it?
Mm.
We've got to have a plan. What would you suggest we start with our plan for when David gets old? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the mind says that there needs to be connection, connections with many people that can be there for me when this happens. There needs to be a sufficient amount of money to take care of this. There needs to be multiple conditions needs to be there in place when the moment will come. And yeah, basically, it's there's a plan that needs to happen, and there's the mind, all these thoughts related to this scenario, and all the things that needs to be done to to make that reality happen. Yeah, there is some. Yeah, but then you always get to the point of, yeah, but how can I have a choice? I don't have a choice. Like these thoughts just appear.
Mhm.
There's nobody that decides what thoughts appear and what don't appear. And so, how can there be a choice? Any choice at all? It is what it is. It is, and it
Mm.
will be what it will be eventually. Yeah, the idea that this can be controlled and this can be manipulated and changed. And yeah, I don't want to take up all the time if anyone else wants to. This poor me, really, this poor. This poor me.
Hmm.
So much suffering, so much, and it's not, yeah, it's not necessary. It's,
Well, that's even worse, isn't it? I mean, that's something to suffer over. That your suffering is not worth it. You don't have a choice.
it's that it's the thing that gets liberated. It's not what you think it is, because what gets liberated, maybe, it's just this me that gets deprived of all his beliefs one by one. They are seen for what they are, and the me gets deprived of these beliefs. These beliefs are taken away from this me. It's this cage that gets dismantled in the story. Obviously, there is no. Sometimes it feels like it's this. It's the act of seeing, of recognizing, takes away from this me character all the handles that it could grab, all the so that it can't use them as levers. Mm. Yeah, and the me begins falling, and it feels like falling. Yeah, falling and never landing. Yeah.
So I can see the me. I have this fantasy movie of the me, and what we have is something solid that's falling, and as it falls, a layer. It's like a layer made up of layers of sheets of paper, maybe. So a layer, the outer layer comes off as it falls, and then the next layer comes off as it falls a bit further, and the next layer comes off, and eventually the last layer disappears to reveal nothing, a hollow center. So
Mm.
that me was never anything substantial. It was always just encased in layers of stories.
Mm. 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 Yeah. Yeah, this falling is just it's just the reaction associated with not being able to control anymore or losing control. It's it's the idea of losing control and the sensations that are associated with it. Because yeah, like fears associated with safeness and self-preservation.
Mm.
So very primitive, very primordial fears. Yeah, a total lose of control, losing completely losing control. Yeah, losing. There's nothing that is losing control. It's just that there is no control. It's just an idea.
Anyway, the illusion of control was always aimed at keeping those layers of story about the self in place. So when we recognize the illusion of control, that it is an illusion, all of a sudden we're not holding those layers, those outer layers of paper, stories about a self. They're no longer glued tightly. They come loose and can float off, drop off. So each time we have an experience of something that we consider we'd not, we'd prefer not to have, it's the loosening of the glue of another story that was stuck on to that hollow center.
Mm. It does everything by itself because it creates a world in which there is control, and then it gets afraid of losing control, and it does things to have control, to regain control, it's all self-contained.
All right, well, I'm going to go to bed now. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Good night.